Hello, 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 my dear ones, my evil lifers. Thank you for joining me tonight. Good evening. Today, we're going to be speaking about how to practice inner child work. And we want to talk about this because I announced that we were going to be speaking about this. Last 3 videos, I believe, I've been speaking about those lessons that the soul chooses to come here and experience, right? And how important it is for us to pay attention and know what those lessons are for ourselves. And now, I wanted to come and speak about how to practice, how to heal those wounds that we've been carrying since childhood, and how to practice by practicing inner child work, okay? That's how it's known. And let's do a quick review of the past weeks. As I've always said, the universal purpose of all souls is to grow. We came here to grow, to expand our vibrational frequency. And by doing that, we significantly impact for good the level of our brightness or consciousness. Because we're light, we're all light, we come from the light. We are vibrational frequencies of light. And when we expand emotionally, what we're doing is that our brightness becomes bigger, and so our knowledge and our consciousness expands. Okay, so and what that means is that we have more knowledge. We become wiser. Okay? So we grow in consciousness when we heal our emotional vibrational frequencies, or we can say traumas, okay, or wounding. For a few weeks now, I've been saying that current outside energies are promoting that we work on healing our emotional traumas. And just today, I posted in our Evo Life page, Facebook page, this that I'm going to read right now. It reads like this. This is a time for healing deep emotional trauma. Situations you thought you cleared are coming up again for more awareness of them. Healing is done in layers. You have to continue to spiral through the same emotional experiences until there is no electric charge left to trigger you. And why do I say this? Because energy behaves in cycles and in levels, in layers, okay? So don't ever expect not having to repeatedly work on something you thought you had worked on before, okay? And I know that we all want to, these hurts and pains to end and move on in our life, right? But we have to accept the nature of the material, of the divine material that we are made of. It doesn't work like that. It works in layers, it works in steps, in order, specific order, and it takes time, okay? It takes time to heal these wounds. Because energy behaves in cycles, so don't ever expect it, right, to work that way. And life, as I've always said, is all about the purposes of your soul and not about the purposes of the identity or avatar it is using to accomplish those goals, that growth goal, right? It's never about this that we see in the outside. It is always about the purposes that the soul chose. And we've spoken about in the past videos, 3 videos, we've spoken about those purposes and lessons our souls by choice came to experience and learn from. And today I will try and guide you through the wonderful practice of inner child work, which is a wonderful one to address this type of wounds, and one which I have personally used and still use, frequently use, okay? And that has rendered a lot of benefits, and always will, because it is made out of love, self-love, okay? What is the inner child work? What is this that I'm calling the inner child? What does it mean? Well, the inner child is composed of all the memories, both at an emotional and psychological level, and the lessons learned from your childhood. These memories and lessons are supposed to help you accurately and effectively predict and respond to situations in the future. But when we are a child and up to the age of about 7 years old, we experience life purely from the theta brain waves, or better said, from an emotional point of view and not from a logical one. Okay, so kids are creative, right? Children are creative. They are imaginative. We are small. We are very, very extremely imaginative, creative, very pure. Okay, and we experience everything from an emotional level, because the child does not have the mental maturity and skills or tools to logically cope with the anxiety, anger, and sense of helplessness they feel every time, for example, when we were scolded or corrected, right? And much less to cope with the trauma-filled environments like the ones we all see occurring in the world, okay? You know, there are a lot of dysfunctional families, and also the things that happen outside in the world. So they don't have the coping mechanisms to deal with that. So we learn early on to lock away those emotional memories. This often causes them to continue to hold on to those belief systems or ways to handle and address things in their lives, even when they are no longer accurate or helpful, right? But since these were the only tools they had, or we were given, right? And the only knowledge we have, these are going to be the ones we will use to address life from here on. That's the issue. Because reparenting the inner child helps us address the trauma and loss from the past, and examine and adjust our emotional beliefs, release and heal the wounds about the past, present, and future as appropriate, right? Heal in a healthy and appropriate way, okay? All souls have inner child wounds to heal, okay? No exceptions. I'm always explaining this. People think, no, I don't have a problem. false. All of us have inner child wounds that we need to work on and heal and become aware. The more we ignore them, the more trauma we will be causing in our life, and the more problems we will see in our life, and the less health we will see in our life. So we need to become aware that we have these and which are the ones that we have, okay? And for those that haven't watched the previous 3 videos, I spoke about all those wounds, different kinds of wounds, okay? And how to identify them. For some people, they are greater, you know, we go to greater lengths than others, right? Different levels of intensity. But everybody has them, every single one of us. Either because we did live traumatic situations in our lives, or because we learned it in a wrong way by the example of a parent or a main caretaker, or because of pure misinterpretation of the child. Okay? Those are the 3 reasons. The important thing to understand is that those emotions were truly, deeply felt. For the child experiencing and feeling them, they are very, very real. And they leave scarring, okay? The scar that never goes, stays there. All these low vibrational frequencies are locked inside and need to be faced, okay? Purged, released, and healed. It is a soul cleanse. Imagine yourself like going to a car wash, right? Well, this is a soul wash. We need to wash that vibration. It is an act of self-love doing the inner child work, okay? One that definitely will pay huge benefits for your wellness and well-being. So let's start, and I'm gonna explain, right? And you may want to write down in a piece of paper. And the first thing we need to do is to set aside 45 minutes at least in our life to dedicate that time to ourselves and find a peaceful and quiet place where you can lie down and where no one or nothing can interrupt you, okay, during this time. And I want you to close your eyes and visualize yourself going back in time and remember yourself as a child, as a little child, okay? Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna pick one of those undesirable memories and moments that you experienced and try reliving the experience as if you were there right now. So you imagine yourself by closing your eyes in that specific moment, and you're going to choose one. We work each case, each scenario one by one. So if today you work in one, tomorrow, if you have the time, you work in another one, okay? But you pick one by one, these experiences, and try reliving them, okay? Remember all those feelings that you felt at that moment, whether it was shame, disempowerment, guilt, neglect, sadness, fear, rejection, abandonment, betrayal, unworthiness, grief, frustration, anger, right? All those needs and wants that were not met at that time, okay? And let yourself really, really feel and let yourself go back, being back in those emotional states and places. Try to remember as best as you can all the details of you, of how you as a child felt at the time, and let the body, your body, express themselves as they need to. In other words, if we need to cry, we cry. If we need to yell, we yell. If we need to punch, right? A pillow. If we need to do a temper tantrum, right? A temper tantrum, you know, that kids start hitting the floor with their hands and crying and yelling and, you know, stepping, right? Using our feet, legs, everything, whatever we need to do. The thing is to let the body feel and express exactly how the child needed to and couldn't do it at that specific moment, okay? In this same visualization, you call in yourself as you are today, right now, as your adult self, okay? You call yourself to walk in and step into that vision and to get down to that same level of your young self and look them in the eye. You can pick them up if you feel like to, or take their hand and tell them, it is okay. I am here now. You are safe. You are safe. I see you now. You are not alone. I love you. You validate everything that child is feeling by saying yes. You underwent shame and abandonment, for example, but you are safe now. And that's not happening anymore. What do you need? What is it that you need? And you actually remove the child, right, from the situation or circumstances they are experiencing. And you take them somewhere safe. Like it could be a beautiful location, right, or landscape. Wherever you like to take your child self the most. Anything that you like, okay? And I want you to become the parent you needed and didn't have at that specific moment in time. You supply your young child self with every single need that broken child has by being present as a loving and nurturing parent for him. You become your own rescuer and hero. You are present in their life, right, in a loving and caring way for him or for her. And then you tell them you are not safe. What is it that you need? Usually the child will answer with simple needs, like I want a hug, or I want to be embraced, right? Maybe I want to go and color my coloring book. Simple things. I want to go to a park, or maybe I want you to stroke my hair and hold me. Whatever comes to your mind that you would like to receive from that parent, you do it, okay? You imagine yourself doing it to yourself as a child. In this process, I want you to understand there's no blame. It's not a blame process, okay? Because we all have childhood wounds that need to be worked on and healed, because they become our limiting blockages in adulthood, no exception. So I always say we are all victims of victims. And because our parents didn't have these tools to work with, They were unaware. And so we keep on passing them on and on from generation to generation. And that's why it's so important for us to become aware of what we have been carrying and what is it that we are repeating in our lives in repeated cycles again and again and again. And why can't we conquer those things that we truly want in life and that we are capable of, okay? So inner child work requires that you become the parent that you needed and that you still want, desire, and need today. And fill up those gaps, those needs, right, that were left unsatisfied. You become your own parent in a healthy and loving way. So you reparent yourself, okay? And as I said in the Facebook post today, inner child work is not a one-shot deal. It will resurface and it needs consistency and patience because it behaves in layers. So you work on it as long as you need to and until there isn't a hurt or a trigger that you feel no longer, okay? So you keep on working on it until you don't feel the need. It's still there, okay? Or the gap is still there from an emotional point of view. So this is the last step, and I hope this information has helped you to realize how important it is to become aware of these woundings, because truly mankind is capable of doing anything, achieving anything in life. But when we are dealing with these vibrations that we are carrying, life becomes very, very heavy, and we feel disempowered in our lives to take our lives to those things, to be able to achieve those things that we truly want to achieve and are capable of. These are the things that limit us in life, and we're really limitless humans, okay? So I thank you for joining me tonight, hoping this information has been of a lot of help for you or for anybody you may want to share this information with. Asking you to give it a like and to please share it so that, yes, you can help other people become aware and start working on themselves also, okay? And we impact the world when we work on ourselves take it to a better place. We want to have good lives. We want a good world outside with no wars and all these things going on. Well, this is the way that we do it. We manifest what we are vibrating in, always. Don't doubt that. Your vibration is mega important. And if we're carrying these wounds and we are not purging them from our body, we're going to be attracting the same undesirable emotions, okay? And creating more instead of less of what we don't want in our life. So thanks a lot. Hoping to see you next week here again in the Mingles of Evo Life, where we're going to be speaking about then shadow work. What is it about? Because I had to divide it in 2 videos, right? Because these are long videos. They take me time. And I wanted to address each one by separate. So next week, we're going to be addressing how to do shadow work. Okay? So sending you love and light as always. And see you next week here in the Mingles of Evo Life. Thank you. Bye-bye.